You got the promotion, you passed the test, you made more money, maybe you even improved your body or grew your following. But instead of joy, you felt nothing. That quiet emptiness you didn't expect? It's more common than you think, and if you ignore it, it gets louder. Because real happiness doesn't always follow progress. Sometimes progress hides the very reason you're feeling disconnected from yourself. Let's break it down. Step 1. Progress doesn't fix internal pressure. You were hoping achievement would silence the voice in your head, the one that whispers, "You're not enough." But even after you hit the goal, that voice didn't go away. It just raised the bar, moved the finish line. And now it sounds like, okay, what's next? Progress won't heal a wound created by self-rejection. If your inner critic is your only motivator, then success won't make you happier. It'll make you more anxious. Because now you're not just someone who feels behind, you're someone who has to keep winning just to feel okay. That's not peace. That's survival mode with a gold medal around your neck. Step 2. You mistook growth for healing. You've been reading more, grinding harder, learning faster. You've leveled up in many ways. But that old insecurity, that deep fear, that hidden shame, still there. Why? Because personal development and emotional healing are not the same thing. Growth teaches you how to build a better engine. Healing teaches you why you keep stalling in the first place. One makes you more effective, the other makes you more whole. If your success is built on top of unhealed pain, it won't bring peace. It'll bring pressure to keep running so you never have to stop and feel. You can't out-achieve the parts of you that need compassion. Step 3. You're stuck in output mode. You've been producing non-stop, projects, deadlines, content, results you're used to doing. But when was the last time you sat still and just existed? Not because you earned it, not as a reward, but because being alive shouldn't require performance. Many high achievers don't feel happy because they've trained themselves to only feel worthy when they're producing. This is the productivity trap. It tricks you into believing that rest is a weakness and that stillness is laziness. But happiness doesn't show up after output. It shows up when you feel safe doing nothing, when you finally believe that your value isn't tied to what you deliver, but simply who you are. Step 4. You've lost sight of the why. In the beginning, you were fueled by something real, curiosity, purpose, meaning. But somewhere along the way, the process turned mechanical. You started chasing numbers, validation, approval. You began doing things not because they mattered, but because they got attention. You're still making progress, sure, but it's hollow now, because without purpose, even progress becomes a performance. It's easy to lose yourself in success. It's harder to stop and ask, why am I still doing this? Real happiness doesn't come from endless forward motion. It comes from alignment, making sure the things you pursue still match your core. So pause. Ask yourself, am I chasing the goal or chasing the feeling I thought the goal would give me? If it's the latter, it's time to realign. Step 5. You never built a life outside the goal. You've been so focused on winning that you forgot to build a world worth living in. You stopped making time for friendships. You don't laugh like you used to. Your hobbies became unproductive. And now, it's just you and your goals. This is the quiet loneliness that achievement never talks about. Because progress can't hug you. It can't sit with you on a bad day. It can't make you feel seen. If your whole life becomes a scoreboard, you'll constantly feel behind. Here's the truth most people avoid. You need more than progress to feel whole. You need relationships, joy, creativity, rest, moments that don't need to be posted. When you stop chasing 24/7 and start living, you'll realize you didn't need more goals. You needed more life. Step 6. You haven't let yourself celebrate. You crossed the line, hit the milestone, checked the box, and moved on like it never happened, because your brain is already planning the next thing. This is common in achievers. Celebration feels unproductive, so they skip it. But when you never pause to feel the win, your nervous system learns to associate success with tension, not peace. Eventually, even progress feels empty, like you're doing all this work, but never arriving. So, here's what you do. Let yourself arrive, even if it's just for one moment. Breathe it in. Smile. Be proud. You earned this. Don't rush past the finish line only to chase another. Life's not a constant race, it's a collection of moments. And if you don't let yourself enjoy them, then what's the point? Step 7. You measure progress. Only by output. You're judging your success by how much you produce, not by how deeply you've grown. You ask, what did I finish today? Not, what did I learn? How did I show up? Did I grow in character, patience, or focus? This kind of measurement will always leave you empty, because external milestones don't always reflect internal breakthroughs. You might be making massive internal shifts, letting go of people-pleasing, building boundaries, or breaking unhealthy habits, But if you don't count those as progress, you'll think you're failing when you're actually evolving. True growth isn't always loud. Sometimes the biggest victories are silent, saying no when it's hard, resting without guilt, showing up despite doubt. If you want to feel fulfilled, start valuing the invisible wins just as much as the visible ones. Step 8. You've attached happiness to a moving target. When you say, "I'll be happy when," you've already lost the game, because even when you reach the when, your brain moves the finish line. It's a trick, a cycle that never ends. You tell yourself, when I hit 10K followers, when I earn 6 figures, when I finally move out. But happiness tied to achievement is fragile, because it means your peace depends on circumstances you don't fully control. You have to shift that mindset. Instead of, "I'll be happy when," try, "I'm learning to be content while becoming more." Gratitude doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop starving for more. You build peace where you stand. So growth becomes a bonus, not a lifeline. Step 9. You haven't redefined success for this season. The version of success that used to inspire you might not be the one that fits anymore, but you keep chasing it because it's familiar, not because it's still right. Maybe you used to crave speed. Now you need depth. Maybe you used to chase recognition. Now you want peace. But you haven't updated your definition of success to match who you are now, and that mismatch creates constant unease. So stop and ask yourself, what do I want my life to feel like? Who do I admire, and why? What would progress look like if no one was watching? Update your internal compass. You're not the same person you were last year. Your definition of happiness shouldn't be either. Progress without peace isn't success. You're doing everything right, on paper. You've improved, you've achieved, you've leveled up. But if your heart still feels restless, it's time to ask deeper questions. Happiness doesn't come from progress alone. It comes from alignment. When who you're becoming matches what you value, peace follows. You don't need more hustle. You need clarity. You don't need to be better. You need to be present. You don't need to prove yourself. You need to meet yourself. So stop, breathe, celebrate what you've built, and build a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. Because when inner peace and outer progress walk together, that's when happiness finally stays.